Karen the Web Spinster here. Welcome to my channel where we cut and sew and see what happens. Thank you for joining me today. I appreciate all of you. Today, more Brillig. I've had an idea in my brain about a quilt for a while and I want to see how it's going to work, so I will do it on an Alice quilt. That is to say, Brillig. Oh, I haven't thought about the colors yet exactly, but I'm thinking it will be yellow background, green mained piece, and then there will be some accents. And this color, I don't know why it's there. It's from a different quilt. I don't know about the pink yet. There will be a little bit of white, as I said. So I'm going to start off with just a long, slender piece of yellow. No, actually, I guess first I will do the green main piece, and then that will determine what my background looks like. So I'm thinking perhaps I ought to keep this of the size you can actually see. Wouldn't that be something new for you all? We'll see how it turns out. So I'm going to cut a long, slender piece of the green, and then this is going to be some more raw edge applique. I could do this as a fusible, but I'm going to try freehanding it and then do the raw edge applique as I did for the seed pod. We'll see how this goes. I'm not especially all that good at freehanding, but we're doing kind of improv-y stuff here, so oops, I'm sorry, I'm probably going to knock this several times. And I'm probably not getting those curves exactly the way I want them, or completely cut, so. Okay, now I need to turn it around. This is going to be a piece all on its own. I can see it. Oh, it did cut pretty well. All right. And now, this, I don't need a stem kind of thing. So I'm seeing this, well, in my brain originally it was just a shape. But now I'm seeing it as part of the Brillig garden. Kind of almost like a birdhouse. You can see it's not perfectly symmetrical. Fortunately, I didn't plan for it to be perfectly symmetrical. Knowing my freehand cutting skills, I like it. It's a little different than I thought, but I like it. And now I have this piece to do something with as well. All right, now, looks like a three-tiered ET, doesn't it? Now I want to cut out the centers. And I'm wondering if I'm going to be able to do that this way or if I want to use scissors. And I think I want to use scissors. So I'm just going to cut the centers out in kind of an oval, squarish sort of shape. Here is my shape. And I can use it now to decide about my block length and width. And I am going to give myself plenty of width so that I can maybe do other things with it as it goes into the quilt. So I think actually about here will be perfect. I'm going to cut that, and then I'll talk a little bit about what else I think I want to do with it. This will be ready to raw edge applique, but I'm seeing this as sort of like a birdhouse or a creature house. And you remember from last week, I was talking about shy creatures peeking out, and I think there will be little baby shy creatures peeking out. So I need some eyes showing here, and I think I don't want to raw edge applique those. I think I want them to be finished edges because they're eyeballs. And those are going to be in white. I also want to do some kind of decorative stitching because this is an Alice quilt now, so we have to do stuff. And I'm almost thinking they're going to be going sort of winding around this a little bit, but we'll see how that goes. My first step here will be to make some eyeballs. Maybe the pupils for these, instead of pink, will make them blue. So we have shy, blue-eyed creatures. Oh, you know what? I have to think about that. Okay. Let me prepare the eyeballs, and then I will be back. A quick review. Most often when I do circles, I do a yo-yo kind of thing, so I draw it up around a template. This is just a manila file folder that I have used a punch on, I believe. A one inch punch maybe, and then draw it up around the template, press it. Then I usually, because this is such a small circle and there's a lot of fabric there, I would trim it down and then make sure it's pressed well on the edges. Pull out the template and proceed. I'm thinking that I want just, because these are very shy, that I want just half of an eye coming out. So I'm going to cut this in half, and it's going to get tucked under here. Now, partially that's because this is, if I put an entire circle, half of it under there, then that's going to really bulk this up. It's going to look odd. Now I can, in fact, have at the raw edge there, but I don't want that, so I'm going to tuck it under. Now, one thing that I'm thinking about doing is putting a bit of, I'm not OCD at all, going to put a bit of batting behind this, so it's got more dimension to it. But I could also put a bit of batting around the inside, or at least around this portion of it, so that it doesn't pull up. But I think I'm inclined not to, although I might for this, because you can see that the seam line is going to, the background is going to shadow through, except where the seam is turned under, which may be all right. And then I need to put on the irises. So I'm going to finish up with the whites of their eyes. And then I'll think about, do I want this, or do I want to do something like a large bead? I do have some large beads. Now, I think I'll do this, and that may in fact be raw edge applique. That's a pretty small piece. I'll think about that while I'm getting the circles ready. Try as I might, I can't resolve the color issue on here. This is a much brighter yellow, and in fact a brighter green than you are seeing on the screen. I finished with the eyes. These two, they are attached to this green piece, but not to the yellow piece yet. And for this one, I used the white glue, and it's starting to dry here, but you can see it's a little more obvious there. On these 4 eyes, I used a Sew-Line glue stick, specifically for fabric, though I don't know that it differs from other glue sticks, to be honest with you. So I next am going to tack this green piece down with this same glue stick, just so it doesn't shift too much while I'm doing the sewing. And I am also going to put a piece of stabilizer underneath it. I think I might make the stabilizer, in fact, almost the size of this whole piece, because if I do embellishment or embroidery stitch work on it, I will still want stabilizer underneath it. So my next steps will be tacking this down and then putting the stabilizer underneath it, and then I'm just going to do a straight stitch. I'll probably shorten the stitch a bit, take it down to at least 2.0, and I might take a couple of runs around it. When I'm doing these center pieces, I'm going to stitch, I definitely will stitch twice. I'm going to stitch one pretty close to the edge because I need to catch these eyes, although I am going to be hand stitching these down, so I know they're going to stay up, but I don't want them to pop out from underneath there. And then we'll talk about what embroidery I might or might do. It's probably going to be some French knots in there. Maybe there'll be some beads. I don't know. I'm thinking about little sprouts of fur or hair coming out. I don't know. We'll have to see. Here's our 3-tiered ET. I couldn't do it to you. I couldn't do it to myself. The rest of the raw edge applique bit is just, it's a hot mess. And I saw no reason to draw you all into that. I didn't like the raw edge applique for whatever reason. I think maybe the seed pod was a different thing. I don't understand why exactly, but I was not happy with it, and I didn't want to make you sit through all of that. So in a couple of seconds here, I will take you to how I changed it and what I did to make myself happy with it. I confess it was a mistake, learned from the mistake, and moved on from there. The day is getting short as I'm doing these videos, so I apologize for the color changes. I did as much adjusting as I could do without putting it through a rigorous Photoshop thing. So please bear with me for that, and just know that I've spared you some real eye pain. So hang in there with me. Thanks. All right, I'm back because I can't leave it with something that I just am not crazy about, especially when I'm going to take a break for a while. So this is the piece, the negative space piece from cutting out that green piece. And I'm going to create a template on freezer paper, and then I'm going to use that to turn under the edges. I'll do invisible applique with invisible thread once I have those edges turned under. And then I will do the eyes again, but they're going to be full circles, even though only part of the eyes are going to be above whatever this shy guy house, birdhouse, whatever is. And I'm going to think about what I'm going to do with these. Still thinking about that, but I have time to do that. So I hopefully will be able to show you a little more finished edge design for this particular one, a different iteration for this. This is what I'm doing with the template, and this is something that I just got used to doing from applique-piecing, which I was taught by Sheila Frampton Cooper. Take a class, it's great. And now I'm going to use this as the edge for turning this under and pressing it. And then I can put that down on the base and stitch it, leaving this part at least open for inserting the shy guy's eyes. So here's my piece, and I've got the edges turned under so I can take out the freezer paper. And I can already tell I'm going to be all right with this. I don't know what to tell you about why I was okay with it on the seed pod and not here. I've nothing against raw edge applique. It just did not seem right here. So now I am going to just kind of tack this down, glue baste it, and use some invisible thread, some poly thread. This is from Superior Threads. It's called Monopoly. And I will also use that in the bobbin. I will put some stabilizer on the back of this one as well. So I'm going to stitch the outside first and get that completed. Then I'll need to work on the eyes to put in here, and then we'll take it from there. I just wanted to bring you up to date with what I'm doing, and hopefully I will be able to give you, this color is so bad. I'm sorry, this really is much brighter than it looks. Then if I get the eyes in before I edit and publish this video, then I will show you a photo of that. I probably won't get to all the embroidery and embellishment stuff, but at least you'll kind of see where I'm going with it. I actually like this just as a piece on its own with nothing going. Maybe I should just have one set of eyes. I was sort of thinking of this as Old Mother Hubbard and lots of little whatevers, Shy Guys. But maybe I just want one. And remembering always that the vine might go through this, so maybe I don't want to go too crazy with it, but I do like this shape. So let me get this stitched down. And I think maybe I would put the eyes up here if I was just doing one. I think that might actually work out better. So I've got little Shy Guys eyes that are peeking out here and again on the quilt, and it's just something people can look for if they're looking at the quilt. This is much better. Pardon the change in lighting. Time is moving here. It's dark outside. This is so much better. I like this shape on its own, and I like that the shape is the emphasis here, or is getting the attention rather than the stitching and the raw edge. So I'm happy with that. I would have been happy actually with just this shape, but I decided, and I may do more of them, different colors, who knows, in the quilt. But I did put in the eyeballs, and I think for the irises I may just do clusters of French knots or something. Or maybe these are eggs for whatever the Shy Guys and gals reproductive method is. I don't know, maybe whatever. So this is much better. I haven't decided about the embroidery around it. I may want to leave it just like this so that the vine can go through it. The black and white vine, I don't know yet. But this is much better. I am much happier with this. So yay. I do have a little bit of an update on improv stuff going on in my life elsewhere. So I will splice that in. So this weekend I finished up an improv quilt that I started in a Sheila Frampton Cooper class. And this is another instance where I've finished it and then I'm looking at it and I'm not really happy with one corner of it, one section of it. So I think I'm going to take that out and redo it. I'll need to get some more fabric before I do that. But one of the advantages in my improv quilting anyway, maybe other people are not as, I don't know, maybe they're a little more focused than I am, but these are all pieces that were left over from the Greco-Deco quilt that I just finished. And so now I've got a good start on another quilt. Now, other improv quilters may be better about actually making pieces that fit in the quilt they were made for. But that was not my experience with Greco-Deco anyway. So I really like this. I mean, even if there's not much more to it, I have to do connections. But I love this piece. I think it might have been a couple of different pieces that after I decided not to use them in Greco-Deco, I put them together. I don't even remember. It's been a while. And I like the green and the red and pink over here. So fun things coming up on this, and I'll get some more fabric for Greco-Deco and see if I can. Most of it I like a lot. There's just one piece, and it's kind of minor. Maybe nobody else would know, but I know. So I'm going to fix that. I'm not OCD at all. And so now that is going to be it for this week. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate you. And this will be my last video for this year. I will be back again after the first of the year, but I need to take a break and regroup and make some decisions about the channel. I'm feeling a little at 6s and 7s about it all. So I need to regroup and decide what I'm going to be doing going forward. And I would like your feedback. Anything from keep doing what you're doing to, yeah, maybe your time is past it. It's time to move on. Just let me know how you're feeling. I think maybe I'm just a little tired. That's what's going on here. But I will be back after the first of the year, but taking a break to celebrate Christmas, which is the winter holiday that I celebrate. I wish you happy holidays for whatever you celebrate, or if you don't have a particular holiday, that you have a peaceful and joyful season. I will see you next year, hopefully. In the meantime, be well, be safe, be happy, be quilting.